Okay, this morning I'm going to try to start up this flathead motor in a 1953 Ford Victoria, and battery cables are kind of worn out. I think there's too much resistance in them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the battery cables out, and at the auto parts store they don't have cables large enough for the 6-volt cars, so I double up. I get battery cables that are 12 volt, but I double them up, so it ends up having the same cross-sectional area, and it should be able to carry the more amperage. So let me show you what it looks like before I get started here. Okay, so this is a look at the motor, and the cables are kind of worn out, especially this one down on the starter. It's missing some of the insulation on it. So I think what happens is they get heated up and they end up with too much resistance in them, so then it won't carry enough amps to spin the motor over. And let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about here. I have a remote button here. Let me hook it up. Little remote button here, and turn it over slow. Okay, what I'm going to do is change the battery cables and see if that improves. And I'll show you what I have here. I went to the O'Reilly's and I bought a bunch of battery cables here. Got a whole bag of them. So I'm going to change them out and we'll see how that works. Okay, so here's another look at all the battery cables I bought, and I have to double them up because the batteries cables are for 12 volts and they don't carry enough amps, so I double them up. That way it'll supply the starter with enough amperage to turn this motor over fast enough, and hopefully it will start. Well, I was having trouble trying to start it on a 6-volt battery, and maybe the starter's weak. I put new battery cables on it and doubled them up, so it's like 4-aught, or it's 2-aught equivalent, and but it still wasn't cranking it over fast enough, so I put a 12-volt starter, changed the coil out to 12 volt, and I jumped this starter relay. I didn't want to. It's a 6-volt starter relay. I didn't want to use the 12 volts on it, so I just jumper it, and the car started up. So let's hear it run. Okay, so I have a little auxiliary gas can sitting up here, and I just take this short battery cable, and I just jumper across the solenoid switch, and to start it, might help to turn the coil on. gas can up there, running down centrifugal feed. Well, I don't want to run it too long. I don't have any water in it. I don't think it's getting too hot. It's probably long enough. So I'll probably try putting the 6-volt battery and coil in it and see if it'll start up. It hasn't run for quite a few years. Anyhow, this is in a 1953 Ford Vicky, but I think I'm going to use this motor in maybe my 40 Ford pickup, or I do have a 50 Ford Club Coupe sitting over here. It's actually a 54 Club Coupe sitting over there. It needs a motor also, so I haven't really made up my mind how I'm going to do this. I mean, it'd be nice to put a small block Chevy in that 40 pickup, but if it's not too much trouble, I might use this flathead. I'd have to change the water pumps, some of the accessories on the front of the motor to make it fit, but I'll do some more research. Well, I did put the 6-volt coil back in and the 6-volt battery, and it did start up, but I just ran it for a couple minutes or maybe less, and because I don't have any water in the radiator, and I'm getting a little bit of a blow-by. But this motor, you know, it was rebuilt. It was rebuilt, but I don't think it is really broken in yet. So maybe the blow-by will slow down eventually. So the next thing to do is put the fan belt back on. It's got 2 fan belts, one for each water pump. The early Fords only had 1 fan belt for both water pumps. But the reason I took it off is because this fan blade was bent and it dug into the radiator here. So I'm going to put the fan blade back on it. I mean the water pump belt back on it, and put some water in it and run it a little bit longer. Okay, well, I'm putting all my tools away, and with this 12-volt battery, I'm going to put it back in the garage and put the charger on it. And wow, these things are heavy. If you watch Vice Grip Garage, Derek Barry, he tosses these batteries around like they're nothing. You probably would have been a good shot putter in the Olympics. So anyhow, we'll put this battery in the garage. Okay, well, that's going to do it. Now I'll just I'll put this battery on the charger, and I'll catch you on the next one.